So the Invisible Disabilities Advocate, you wonder what that is all about. Well, chronic illness has a prevalence in the U.S. of 1 in 2. And we think, well, it's so overwhelming. Well, the #1 chronic illness is high blood pressure. So it doesn't keep people necessarily disabled in those type of issues. But there's a large portion of the population that actually, 60 million who live with multiple chronic conditions who might possibly be disabled by those chronic conditions. Or they live on a daily basis with them. More than 3 million women to 750,000 men. Now this was back from 2000 statistics. So it continues to grow as we move forward in the chronic illness realm. The Invisible Disabilities Advocate, we encourage, support, and assist people touched by chronic illness, pain, and injury. So it's not just the people who have the chronic illnesses or the invisible disabilities that we support, but it's also the caregivers, the healthcare workers, the businesses that have people that work for them. So that's what we do, is we reach into those areas. And how we kind of reach into those areas is through our website, invisibledisabilities.org. Try to make it easy. We get about 25,000 people to our website, which is just amazing every month. One of the reasons why is when we started with this organization, my wife coined the phrase invisible disabilities back in 1996. And she said, well, you know, people can't tell that I'm chronically ill. They can't tell that I'm dealing with things. And you'll hear a little bit more from her later as well. But in '97, I'm kind of a techie guy, and I thought, hey, let's put one of your little brochures she written for family members to bring them understanding. Let's put that up on the internet. You know, this is back in '97, kind of the internet's just getting started. We don't know. We'll tell our friends and family about it. Next thing you know, like I said, we have all these people from all over the world coming to our site. We've been in magazines, online, Diversity Inc. and Social Worker Today, and CBS News actually did a story on people with Social Security disability, and they picked us as one of their 4 links on their website. Of course, they didn't tell us, but it was amazing because all of a sudden our traffic was zoomed way up this. So the word is getting out about the organization, and what we want to do is help people individually and help people who are not necessarily helped by some of the bigger organizations out there. You know, if you're not part of a big medical organization and you have an illness that as one of our speakers has, called cryoglobulinemia, if I can say that right, there is no cryoglobulinemia foundation or society or anything like that. So who's going to be out there to help her and her family? Also, what we want to do is bring understanding to those family members. One of the sad things is that people don't believe people become sick, and they don't see it, hence invisible disabilities. And the universal symbol is a wheelchair. So if we see people and they're not in a wheelchair, a lot of times we make the assumption that there's nothing wrong with them. Or we make the assumption that it's in their head. Well, it could be bipolar, so it might be in their head. Or it might be MS, and they might have a lesion on their head, so that's a possibility as well. So by reaching out to these people, and it's just amazing, I want to read you a couple quick little stories. We started a social network in January. You know, everybody's into the MySpace and the LinkedIn and Facebook, and we even have a Facebook. We had a MySpace, but it was too much, and too much craziness. So we have Facebook now, which is all fun. But we started a social network called Invisible Disabilities Community in January. And just put it up, we thought, okay, we're going to give an opportunity for people to come who have chronic illnesses and come hear what their stories are about and let them share with each other. You know, they post their photos and all those typical things that they would do on the site. We have 1,100 people now. It's just absolutely amazing. It's growing over 100 people a month. And what really amazes me is that they're helping each other. I can't help them, but they come on and say, well, I've got 5 different illnesses, and somebody says, oh, I've got those 5, or I've got 3 of those, and this is how I deal with things. And there's a lot of similarities that they have. There's a lot of similarities with chronic illnesses across the board. Some of the symptoms are same. That a lot of people struggle with the chronic pain. They struggle with the fatigue. So they can understand when they're going through the different difficulties there are. So we got this young girl comes under. She's 16 years old. She's been sick for 14 years. She's been diagnosed with so many diseases, including Lyme disease, and she's had heart damage and brain damage and joint damage. Her Lyme disease, talked about, she's the worst patient he's ever seen. And she put some of her pictures up there, and she's such a beautiful girl. And she's had 25 life-saving surgeries. Okay, but if you looked at her pictures, you wouldn't think anything was wrong with her. And the one picture she had up there was her sitting at the window. It's gonna be hard for me. Sitting at the window, and the caption said, "I'm watching the other kids play." And it just broke my heart. And I wept that night and just said, this is the reason why we're here. This is the reason why we're here. When women who become chronically ill, their marriages end, it's an 80% divorce rate if they become chronically ill. We wrote a great book called Let You Look Good. And because people always said about my wife, and she's sitting right there, and she looks good. Let me tell you. Okay. But looking good does not make you feel good necessarily. In fact, sometimes it can give a false impression. But we wrote this book, Let You Look Good, and each of you have in your little packets there to take home with you. This book, we've sent 12,000 copies worldwide, just from our website. And what amazes me is people order them 25 at a time. And what amazes me is there's been more husbands, and I even know of a husband here tonight who that book ended up on his pillow for a month before he read it, and it changed his marriage. It gave him understanding. You know, he finally got it. You know, we've had people from New Zealand, you know, and the husband got up, he read the book straight away, and he got up and brought her tea and biscuits in bed the next morning, you know. And he's like, I get it, I finally get it. One of the stories about a lady who, 32-year-old daughter, suffering with chronic illness, has a couple kids, just, her husband doesn't believe her, that she's become sick all of a sudden. And he divorces her, and he takes the kids, takes the money, he takes the insurance, and he even figures out a way to take the alimony because they don't believe she's sick. And now she's just all destitute. And what was amazing is that her mother read this book. And her mom says, I didn't get it at first either, but I get it now. But I only wish the husband would have got it. So, what also we like to do is through our website, through our pamphlets, through our booklet, through our social network, we have a site called Cleaner Indoor Air. And you noticed on the program tonight about being perfume and cologne free, 12.5% of the population has multiple chemical sensitivity, and it's growing. 80% of the people that have asthma, their asthma is triggered by perfumes and colognes. Both my wife and my mother-in-law have it. We live in the country and we can't go outside when the neighbor 5 acres down runs their laundry. And so that's another one of our ways that we're reaching out. We reach into businesses and help them go perfume and cologne free. And a couple of the Honors Awards, you'll find out about that tonight as well. And we just recently started a page called Programs for People, just to link people up. So we're doing everything we can, but it's getting busy. It's getting real busy. And this is on top of I do work another job during the day. So this last week I happened to enjoy being on the radio on KZW with Rick Krangle. And it came up that, what are your hobbies? And I said, this is my hobby. And I love it. This is just a great thing. And to watching these people that are helped and hurting, and it's just an amazing thing.